What's good, guys, and welcome back to Talking Outside the Box podcast, episode 5. And we talked about 2024. We talked about some of the habits that you need to try in 2024. But it's Feb now. It's almost February. We're gonna move on from that topic. But today we're going to be discussing how to replace your bad habits, the existing habits that you have, with good ones. And I think to start off with, right off the gist, it's going to be replacing procrastination with action.
Okay, I like that.
The first step, what would you say?
I mean, a lot of us, procrastinate. We do it.
Mm-hmm.
You've done it. I've done it.
Still do it sometimes.
I honestly feel like there's nothing wrong with setting a date and, waiting for the date to do something. But as long as you set that date, let's say you've got a project at work. I feel, okay, let's say it's due by March. I honestly feel you have to do it right away, get it over with. A lot of people, tend to, okay, it's due in March, it's only Feb now, I'm just going to wait. And yeah, man, I honestly just suggest to replace that bad habit of procrastinating.
Yeah, because, as you said, a lot of people, I think they know they have all of these things to do. They kind of complain about the amount of work that they have to do, but at the same time, they don't want to start immediately with it, and instead they leave everything until the last minute, hit panic mode, and they end up not getting everything done in any way.
Oh, even if they get it done, it's like 50% of what they're capable of.
Yeah, they've half-assed it, basically.
So I think what makes it difficult also is in this society, which is hyper-competitive, which is you have to be your best every single day. A lot of people might feel pressure to, and they tend to overthink it. Instead of just going over to action, they overthink, okay, but is this going to be perfect? Is that going to be perfect?
The big problem that people faces every single day, right?
Yeah.
Is they don't understand how unimportant they are.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yeah.
They don't understand how big the world is.
Yes.
You think, life's about me. So as soon as you just count the people in your town, it's already 10,000 people. Now, imagine every single one of those 10,000 people has that same mindset. And that's unfortunately one of the biggest problems. Unfortunately, you are not as important as you believe you are. Even if you are in a high management position, if you die today, tomorrow you'll be replaced.
Yeah, that's the sad. I think that's the reason why people might not take it seriously. They might say that, you know what, I know I have this to do, but why should I do it? Because I'm replaceable. The fact is, you should help with the mindset of doing it, not for everyone else.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
But you have to do it for yourself, right?
Which is just what I wanted to bring up. Yeah, you have to do it for yourself because there's no, and people always complain about they're not progressing in their job. They're stuck in this position for years and years on end, but they feel like they're working their butt off. But the problem is, I don't think they're doing it for themselves. They think they're doing it to please other people. When you do it to please other people, you'll never really be happy.
I mean, it's that old age-old saying, doing the right thing for the wrong reason.
Yeah, doing the right thing for the wrong reason. But let's talk about, it's not only procrastination that people have a problem with. It's being, overall, you have all of this, social media, you have all of these streaming services, you have all of these distractions. So with those things in the picture, it makes it even harder to take action. And some people, unfortunately, fall into an addiction with social media. So if you were to give one constructive piece of advice to break out of that cycle, because it is part of the whole problem that we're talking about today.
Let's start with, social media addictions.
Yes.
I mean, if you're watching this video, think to yourself, what's the first thing you do in the mornings or evenings? As soon as you wake up, do you roll over, give your wife a kiss, wake up, go to bathroom, go shower, make food, or do you check your phone?
Check your phone, 100% obviously. Yeah.
Most of the people, unfortunately, that's how it's going. And I'm going to be the bearer of bad news, but you are a social media addict.
Yeah.
And
without even realizing it.
The one big piece of advice I can give you there, which I struggle with sometimes, I'm not going to come here and pretend, but make sure as soon as you wake up, you give yourself 1 hour. Get a old analog clock in your room or whatever, and make sure you give yourself 1 hour before you touch your phone. You'll be surprised in how many things you can do in that 1 hour.
And he says analog clock because obviously most of the people have an alarm clock on their phone, but when the moment they're done with the alarm clock, they see all of these notifications. They tend to go into that, and that's how the day starts.
Let's just take, even if you don't have an Instagram notification, Facebook, YouTube, you've got, let's say you're playing Clash of Clans, Monopoly Go, you've got a notification.
Yeah.
That is how you get hooked.
Yeah. Because, and we talked about it in previous episodes, that's how they want the attention. That's how they keep in business. So the more attention you can get from people, the better for you as a social media company.
We're not just talking about social media, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about games on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
There's always this sense of completion, right?
Yeah.
You have to complete this.
Yes.
Why? Because then I can upgrade it.
Yes.
Then I can complete it again. Every single time you see it's completed, I can do it again.
Yeah.
And you feel like a sense of, I don't even know what's the word.
What it is. There's no euphoria. I think euphoria
is the word. And that's how smart these companies are.
Yeah.
And they are creating a society of robots, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately, one thing leads to the other. It's like a domino effect, right? You fall into this bad social media habit. You end up spending the whole day on your phone. You end up developing health problems because of it. You end up getting overweight.
I mean, even if you, sorry for interrupting, but even if you are at work, what's the first thing you're excited to do? Check my phone.
Yeah.
Did she message me?
Those
type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's an addiction.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. And which can obviously, that the after effect of that is, I mean, if you have that tendency to check your phone at the wrong times, obviously that's going to cause problems in your work environment. It's going to cause problems with your productivity overall. But what I wanted to get into is, once you fall into this trap of social media addiction, that's going to cause a domino effect because, as I said, whole day on your phone, you're just sitting there, a few hours pass, you've not exercised, you've not done anything constructive.
And now that he's mentioned it, right, people, when you talk about addiction, people tend to think alcohol, drugs, pain meds, whatever. And, social media addiction isn't that bad. And, you can't really compare social media and addiction because people, as soon as you speak about addiction, you're talking about drugs and alcohol. Yeah. But I mean, it's just as bad.
Yeah, I mean, where drugs and alcohol might damage your body physically, your organs physically, social media addiction is obviously going to damage your mindset. It's going to damage your brain because you're going to want that, that attention, that you don't want to miss out. You want to be in the loop all of the time, which, as I said, is going to spill over into other aspects of your life.
Agreed completely.
But if you talk about social media addiction and the after effects, I think one of the big after effects is it makes people overall just lazier, right? Less enthusiastic, less ambitious. And one of the key aspects that we want to touch on today, especially, is you have all of these people saying that I want to, start doing this with my body. I want to start losing weight. But they fail to forget that in order to do that, you have to break outside of this addiction that you have.
Comfort zone.
Yeah, the comfort zone. So first piece of advice for someone looking to, let's say, change their health, better their health in all ways possible.
I mean, it's basically like a script, right?
Yeah.
The first thing you do is start exercising.
Yeah. And it's as simple as that. When I tell people to just take action, they just, they look at you and say, it's not that easy. It is that easy. If you take that first, and it's not only with exercises, if you have a problem with social media, the first thing you need to do, obviously, is spend less time on it. Put your phone...
download some of the... You guys know the apps because you use it all the time. Download an app that gives you 1 hour screen time a day. Then it locks you out.
And that's actually fantastic that they developed an app like that. I mean, that's where the thing comes in of, you have this bad side of social media and we have the good side of social media. But even if you have to, and I always talk about this, right? If you want to get some work done, a very important piece of work, and you don't want to be distracted, I always say put your phone in another room. Put it on airplane mode if you really want it next to you. But if you have it next to you, the tendency is always going to be there to just grab it.
And I mean, people think when you're going out to dinner, you're putting your phone upside down, face down on the table. You're showing respect. And honestly, it isn't respect.
No.
It means this phone is more important than the conversation with you.
The conversation you have. Yeah.
Put it in your pocket. Put it out of sight.
Which leads me into probably one of the next bad habits that results from this is the communication skill. Your communication skills I wouldn't call it a habit. I would kind of call it a consequence. But your in-person communication skills is just non-existent because of this. As you said, you're used to texting all the time. You're used to not, showing proper emotion all the time. And when you come to that situation, you don't really know what to do. And I think that's why a lot of people struggle with it.
But I mean, luckily our society has been ruined by social media. So as soon as they are communicating with someone else, they are just as bad.
Exactly. So it's basically a level playing field. But, we talked about all of these bad things. We talked about, what you can do to replace bad habits with good ones. The truth is there's no secret formula to it.
No, I agree.
There's no, written plan that you can conjure up or that we can give you, that any other guru can give you. The fact of the matter is you need to take action. You need to really make the decision consciously to say, you know what, this is enough. You need to realize that, and I sat there the other day, I was realizing that, what am I even doing? The time I'm wasting now, I could use to adopt better habits, to at least learn better habits for myself.
No, just to finish it off, right? As soon as I go into Instagram, and don't get me wrong, I do it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But as soon as I go into Instagram, the first thing you see is a person dying. I mean, that's the new trend.
Yeah.
And if you look at the comments, people's brains are
they're completely. I know.
It's so
I know
frightening.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's frightening to see how, and that's a real person suffering, but you're making a complete joke of it, and I think it's because of the desensitization.
I saw a guy on an excavator earlier today.
Yeah.
And a rock was falling and he tried to stop it with his hands.
Yeah.
And it's like, who do you think you are? Iron Man or Hulk? And imagine, place yourself in that situation, right? If you have to work on an excavator, it's not the ideal job.
No.
Now you make one mistake, you pay with your life for it.
Yeah.
And now everyone's flaming him for it.
Yeah. It's just one of those bad habits that results from the social media storm. But the message that we wanted you to take away from this podcast, and we ourselves take away from this podcast, is make a conscious decision to take action, because that's the only way that you're going to change your life forever. Ladies and gents, episode 5, replace your bad habits with good habits. We'll see you in the next one.